So a long time ago, in a former life, I interviewed this particular lady, and I'm incredibly excited to be backstage, Zenner, here with Showstream at Bluedot Festival with the incredible Kelly Lee Owens. How are you?
I'm good. I was just saying I'm a little bit tired. I just flew straight back from Mexico doing a DJ tour around America and then Mexico City. But I'm here, I made it, so yeah, I'm good.
I remember spying you in the distance a couple of years ago at Great Escape Festival before you dropped your solo record. And you obviously had a little bit of a team, and you were walking around with a case looking very serious. And I was like, she's doing something. She's doing something musical. I don't know what's coming. And now you just well, look at that. How many incredible reviews for your debut solo record?
My God.
It's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing because, you know, when you make something, you can only connect to it yourself. Like, that's the first place to begin. It's like, do I enjoy it? Do I love it? And that you have to, you know, connect to that. But then if everyone else does, or people do connect to it in that way, it's just a bonus. And I think it's just been one of those records that have rippled, you know, over the past 2.5 years. And people are still discovering it. And it's like me being a record nerd. It's like the records I feel I've discovered myself are the ones that kind of stay with me.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like it's that kind of record for a few people. So that's been really lovely.
It's kind of like on the down low, but when people really discover it, they go deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
and people say they keep listening over and over, which
things.
I feel is an achievement in 2019 because even my attention span is quite short these days. So if people keep coming back to my record, like, it's a really lovely thing.
I think the last record that I heard that had a similar soundscape that really got me like that was Forest Swords record. There's different sounds in there that I'm literally like, that is incredible. How did you make it? You know, there's all different bits and pieces. I'm like, is that coins? Is that sand? Is that...
There's a lot of self-recorded samples. So some of them literally on my iPhone. And sometimes, like, I was talking to John Hopkins about this, like, you can get the ambience of that kind of having a slightly crappier recording sometimes is better when you add that to, you know, very programmed drums and synths and stuff. You kind of need that grit in there. And yeah, I just discovered a love of organic sounds and samples. So in Arthur, there's like Hailstone that I sample, which I sidechain to create into a beat. There's a track Bird, and it's called Bird because I sampled a bird song, slowed it down to create like a whoom, whoom, like a kick, and then the hi-hat is also a higher pitched bird as well. So, you know, there's all sorts of things in all sorts of ways.
I mean, I think I read about Dev Hynes walking through New York and literally from a certain location to another just recorded the ambience and wanted to make...
Yes.
Is it because it makes it more alive, it makes it more real?
Definitely. And also it just, like, those particular sounds can inspire a whole track. And that's the way it's been for me. So I always, if there's anything, I carry a condenser mic around with me, one that I can actually plug into my iPhone now. So they're not as crappy as the first record, like the ones that I've used for writing the second one, but still, yeah, they add like ambience, definitely.
I need to learn from you, Kelly. You're the master. I mean, when we first met, you were in an indie band. And
I know.
I mean, what made you change your sound so extremely?
Well, I guess like with that band, I didn't really write any of the songs. I was just kind of playing bass and singing. And in a sense, that was a stepping stone for me to understand what I did and didn't want to do. And then I think just working with Daniel Avery, being in the studio and having access to all these analog synths, because before that I didn't really respect dance music. I was like, oh, that was easy, you know, like whatever. And then actually got to see the processes, and that's where I got excited. It was tangible, it was real, it was tweakable, it was fun, and just became like encapsulated in that whole world. And then here we are.
So other than your condenser mic and your phone, what piece of kit has like changed your musical landscape?
Korg Monopoly. It's a synth from the 70s, 80s, and like the engineer James Greenwood that I work with, he's had that synth, and that's been the most consistent sound because it has versatility, and there's a beautiful warmth to like the bass sounds, and I've created even beats from that, you know, really staccato synth sounds and stuff. So it's really fun to work with. Yeah.
And you've been touring like
oh my gosh.
everywhere, international festivals. What's been the highlight?
Oh God, that's a hard question. It's interesting because I've been doing live shows. and I've also been DJing. But for example, touring I think with John Hopkins last year was a massive highlight. Getting to support him at Brixton Academy was just an incredible thing. And then I think for me, my own headline show in London, Village Underground, which was completely sold out, like packed to the rafters. That was a huge moment for me because I lived in Shoreditch for a couple of years and I'd always wanted to play there. And then, of course, coming back to Manchester, and it was just a small show, which we kept small for a reason, but soup kitchen. But, you know, just the energy there, me coming back there, having like the #1 album, you know, Piccadilly Records, that's huge for me. So my indie teenage self is like so chuffed.
You're settled now. And both of those spaces that you played as well, very industrial, you know, they look very raw brickwork inside in both Village Underground and Soup Kitchen. So did you feel really at home with that?
I think so. I've always got that kind of like DIY spirit in me somewhere, and it doesn't have to be too polished, and sometimes that doesn't have as much energy or vibe about it anyway, so it's always good to play places like that.
So you've dropped a double A side or 2 tracks?
I would now call it a double A side, because the B side, Omen, was actually like, that was the one that was reviewed quite a lot. So we underplayed it, like, in a sense purposely, because Let It Go is just a banger, and that's kind of obviously what it is. But yeah, it's kind of become a double A side.
Is it nice when you just drop it and you don't have to categorize it, you just let the tracks speak for themselves?
Absolutely. I just make it for me in that moment, whatever's coming through, and just like hope people will connect to it. But that one had Fabric in mind, because I was about to DJ Fabric with Leon Vinehall, and so I made that specifically for that room. The other one was just kind of a bit more moody and kind of subaquacious and kind of a bit more dreamy. But yeah, the other one was specifically for a club moment.
Is this a sign of what's to come with album 2?
It's interesting because I'm not sure if it is. I like to keep people guessing. There's definitely going to be those elements, but it's certainly not the whole picture.
So what are you doing at the moment? You've obviously still out there on tour playing festivals.
Yeah.
What's your plan? Have you got a time that you're going to be getting back into the studio?
Well, yeah, so basically the only thing I can kind of say is I think there'll be some kind of music coming this side of the year. Not necessarily a full album, not sure yet, but like, yeah, I've been finishing stuff up and there's like the mixing and mastering process happening currently. So that's like one indication. And then there's everything else that comes with that, you know, there's so much work that goes into it and it all has to be right. And that's the thing, I'm quite a perfectionist in that sense. So it takes as long as it takes and it needs to be good, and that's it.
It's your product, it's
out there forever. So, you know, at that point, you just have to think long term rather than the short term fix.
I mean, you collaborated with some amazing people on the first record. Where are you going to go with the second?
Ooh, there is a potential collaboration which might be unexpected, but yeah, 1, maybe 2, but yeah, have to wait and see.
You're very much in demand, like you say, on the DJ circuit, and you were at Inner City Electronic in Leeds recently. Did a keynote.
I did, for some reason. They were kind of interested in what I have to say, you know. But I think it was because I did do the DIY thing for a while. So I released my own vinyl. I, you know, mixed and mastered everything myself and just had that spirit in me, and they wanted to know more about that. And I think to inspire other people to be able to do that, which, you know, you can in 2019. Like, technology has allowed us and connected us to be able to do that. So it's great.
It's good to share the knowledge. Does it give something back to you, feeling that you can help other people? Totally,
because like I had zero confidence for a long time in creating something in myself. And I think especially women, for whatever reason, I think it's societal. It's ingrained in us to kind of doubt what we do a little bit more perhaps than men. So especially women, young women as well, or whoever, I just feel like, you know, all of us have the creativity in us. I know people have heard that a million times, but it's the truth. And so you just need the right tools and a couple of people around you to help make it happen, and that's it.
And you obviously have incredible ears. Who are those new artists or new producers coming through that have really impressed you lately that we should be keeping an eye out for?
You know, I was trying to think, because I used to work in record stores, so for like 10 years I had this incredible knowledge, and what's been really difficult for me is to keep up. I've only not worked in a record store for about 9 months. I was still there 9 months ago, kind of just every now and again. So I honestly feel completely out the loop. So I can't even tell you. I've been completely immersed in my own world. But if you've got any suggestions, You can send them.
Maybe I can teach Kelly something.
You can. This is the thing. I don't know everything. Trust me.
And if there's any track that if you've not listened to Kelly Lee Owens before, where should they start? Where's the start of the journey?
Do you know what? I would say Lucid, only because that's one of the first tracks I wrote, but also it's what I call a hybrid. So you've got the song bit, one half, and then it goes into the track section. So that's the two halves of me right there, I think. So yeah, maybe start with Lucid.
And I tell you what, it builds and builds and builds. It's just incredible track.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Michelle Zenner with Showstream here at Bluedot Festival. Enjoy your set tonight.
I can't wait.
And all the fam are here too to witness it.
Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. They're like literally following me around, kind of like, oh, what time can we stand at the side of the stage? It's like, yeah, if you don't cause any trouble. So.
Are they starstruck yet?
No, but it's really they saw me support John Hopkins a few months back in Manchester, and they absolutely love him. So they're staying until 1 a.m. I think they're actually here for him, really, not me. So whatever, I respect that.
We'll just keep it between us. Nobody tell anybody
No one's
else.
Gonna know.
Okay, no. Thanks so much, Kelly. Great to catch up with you.
Thank you.